schools really teach us not how to think, but what to think. The education system doesn't really teach us how to solve problems, how to be innovative, how to be creative. Hey guys, Mike Sigula here from truththeory.com, and today I want to talk about education. I think that formal education is broken and highly overrated. Schools really teach us not how to think, but what to think. You know, when you go through the traditional school system, you are basically learning to memorize, do some standardized testing, and obey authority. You have all these rules. You can speak when you are allowed to speak. You have to always follow some kind of authority without questioning them. So really what education does is to prepare a person to be an obedient member of society or an obedient worker. You know, the education system doesn't really teach us how to solve problems, how to be innovative, how to be creative. Another problem with mainstream education is that everyone has a different mind. So everyone is a different learner, and the system puts everyone into the same box. And instead of enhancing our unique abilities and helping us to develop them, it actually suppresses them. And obviously, you know, you go to university, if you study in places like UK or US, you know that you might spend tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, to pay for a piece of paper that doesn't even guarantee you anything. You know, a lot of people, if you think about it, obviously if you want to be a lawyer or a medical doctor, you don't really have a choice. You know, you gotta have specific qualifications, you gotta go through the university. But in so many other areas, when you study, what do? You actually just write some essays, read books, go through standardized testing, and all these things, like learning about this. Some subjects you can teach yourself by just, you know, reading books or doing your own research. You don't actually have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on that. So I think that we put way too much emphasis on diplomas and formal education, and actually the information is everywhere. It's really all about our ability to and willingness to learn something. And if you look at many known people like Bill Gates, for example, who is not a medical doctor but has so much influence on the global health policy, you can see that, you know, college degrees actually not everything. I mean, other great examples are people like Elon Musk, who obviously is not a rocket scientist and never studied rocket science, but is building rockets. You know, people like Richard Branson, who is dyslexic and left school at 16. There are countless examples of people who never went to university or never studied the subject, but became experts at their chosen fields. And I think currently with the situation the world is going, and you know, there are so many other opportunities we can really, you know, more and more companies are paying less attention to degrees but more into like your attitude, your skills, your experience and willingness to learn new things, because the world is constantly changing. Very often, you know, by the time you graduate, you know, the things that you are learning in your first year are not valid anymore, because things are shifting constantly and systems are improving and methods are changing. So I want you to think about that. You know, so many things we can learn and we can become experts without going through the system that is not really benefiting us as we often believe.